The morning of my wedding was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I woke up feeling a mix of nerves and excitement, knowing that in just a few hours, I would be walking down the aisle to marry Ethan, the man I had loved for 5 years. The man who had promised me forever. Everything was perfect. My dress, my makeup, the flowers, the venue. I had spent months making sure every little detail was just right. My best friend and maid of honor, Rachel, was by my side, making sure I stayed calm, laughing with me, telling me how beautiful I looked. I really thought this was my fairy tale. Then, there was a knock on the door. At first, I thought it was the wedding coordinator or maybe one of my family members checking in. But when Rachel opened the door, it wasn't them. It was Ethan. The moment I saw his face, my heart clenched. There was something in his eyes, something that made my stomach twist in a way I couldn't explain. "I need to talk to Olivia," he said. Rachel hesitated. "You know it's bad luck to see the bride before the ceremony." I should have taken that as a sign. I should have known something was wrong. But instead, I nodded and told everyone to step out. As soon as we were alone, Ethan shut the door and turned to me. His hands were shaking slightly, his jaw clenched like he was about to say something terrible. And then he did. "Olivia, there's something I need to tell you before we get married," he said, his voice low and unsteady. I frowned, already feeling the unease spreading through me. "What is it?" "I should have told you sooner," he continued, avoiding my eyes. "But I was scared. I didn't want to lose you." "Lose me?" Those words sent a chill down my spine. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He took a deep breath, exhaled slowly, and then said the words that shattered my world. "There's someone else." I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. For a second, I couldn't even process what he had just said. The man I loved, the man I was supposed to marry in less than an hour, had just told me there was someone else. I forced myself to speak, though my throat felt like it was closing. What do you mean?" Ethan ran a hand through his hair. "I didn't cheat on you, Olivia. But I haven't been completely honest. Before we got engaged, I started having feelings for someone else. I thought they would go away, but they didn't. Everything inside me was screaming. This wasn't real. This wasn't happening." My hands clenched into fists. "Who?" Ethan hesitated. Then, finally, he whispered, "Rachel." For a moment, I thought I was going to be sick. Rachel. My best friend. My maid of honor. The person who had been with me every step of the way, helping me plan this wedding, standing by my side. I shook my head. No. No, this doesn't make sense. Ethan looked at me, his eyes filled with guilt. I swear, I never acted on it. I never crossed a line. But I can't stand up there and make vows to you when I know that part of my heart is with someone else. You deserve all of me, Olivia. And I'm so sorry, but I can't give you that. I couldn't breathe. My entire body felt frozen. How long? I whispered. Ethan shut his eyes. Months. Months. So all this time, while I was picking out flowers, trying on dresses, writing my vows, he had been hiding this from me. And Rachel, she had been right there, smiling, acting like my best friend, knowing this whole time. Tears burned my eyes, but anger slowly rose inside me, cutting through the pain. And you tell me now. Right before I walked down the aisle. Ethan looked away, ashamed. I was a coward. I kept telling myself I'd move past it. But today, I realized I couldn't. I couldn't lie to you when I was about to promise you forever. I wiped a tear from my cheek. Did Rachel know? Ethan hesitated. That hesitation told me everything I needed to know. I stood up, my legs shaky but strong enough to hold me. Get out. Olivia. Get out. Ethan opened his mouth like he wanted to say something else, but I didn't want to hear it. He had already said enough. He nodded once and walked out, closing the door softly behind him. The moment he was gone, the dam broke. My hands shook, my breath came out in sharp gasps, but I refused to fall apart completely. I had to stay strong. I had to hold myself together. A few minutes passed before the door opened again. This time, it was Rachel. She stepped in cautiously, her face filled with guilt. Olivia, I turned to her, my voice sharper than I had ever heard it. You knew. Rachel swallowed hard. I never. You knew, I repeated, my voice breaking. You stood beside me this whole time, pretending to be my best friend, while you knew Ethan had feelings for you. Rachel's face crumbled. I didn't want this to happen. But you let it happen, I snapped. She opened her mouth, but I didn't care what she had to say. Nothing could fix this. I took a deep breath, wiped my tears, and lifted my chin. I don't ever want to see you again. Then I turned and walked out. Outside, my family and friends were waiting. Guests were whispering, confused about what was going on. But I didn't care about them. Rachel and Ethan had taken enough from me. I wouldn't let them take my dignity too. I spotted my father in the crowd. As soon as he saw me, his face filled with concern, and he stepped forward. Olivia. I looked at him, eyes still burning with unshed tears, and whispered, "Let's go home." And just like that, I walked away. Away from a wedding that was never meant to be. Away from betrayal. Away from a love that had already been lost. And as painful as it was, I also walked toward something else. Freedom.